Okay, about ready to go here. This is Henry, and welcome to part number 2. Robert Kiyosaki was right, and I found the on-ramp. So, here we are. I think I'm streaming on Facebook. Let me redo that a minute on my phone just to see if I actually am. Hopefully it's working. I know I'm live streaming on my YouTube channel, so that's good. I see my microphones are working. I don't have them muted, so that should be good. Get my microphones all the way up there. There we go. Trying to juggle all the buttons and dials and everything is lots of fun. So just let me check my phone again. I don't see when I go live. There we go. Now I see it's live. Hey, there I am. All right, I got it to work. And now I can see the chat box, not chat bot, chat box, BOX, on over here on my other laptop where I'm monitoring what's going on my YouTube channel, and over here on Facebook. And so it's going to be warm in here this afternoon. We got the AC working again. Fortunately, that's good. The other day, 3 days ago, this is Thursday, Monday, I think, is when we finally turned it on for the first time. And it wasn't working. And got a hold of the landlord, and she got somebody out right away. Took them a while to figure it out. There were 2 parts, not just 1 part that had to be replaced. But hopefully it'll kick on in a bit here and cool the room down. Normally, this end of the house, we're out in the northeast corner, and the furnace system is up above the garage and the other end of the house. So much for technology, right? That's what you came here to hear about. So I just would appreciate it if anybody is watching on either Facebook or YouTube, if you want to make any comments as we go along, and I will get into what I want to get into. So to start off with, last week when I did my broadcast live, it was Thursday at 1, and I realized that at 1 o'clock I have a training session that I like to get on from Michelle, the founder of Legacy Builders. And so I decided that I should move my Thursday live stream back to 3:30, giving me some time to finish up my coffee in the afternoon, and also to be able to watch if that live stream goes an hour and a half. Actually, there was somebody else on there today because Michelle and the family, they're all down in Costa Rica on vacation. So Daryl was filling in, and very good information, really good ideas, concepts that he was sharing. And anyway, I digress. Let me go ahead and show you what I want to cover here. So last week, I talked about Robert Kiyosaki, and this is his cash flow quadrant. So I can't move I'm moving my mouse around on my television system screen, but it doesn't show up. There we go. There we go. Now you can see it. So I get into the right screen on my big monitor here. Most people are over in this upper left-hand quadrant, the E quadrant, the employee. So people are trading time for dollars. And I've done that myself at times over the years. The last time I did that on a full-time basis was back up until 2008. I think it was about April of 2008. My friend Jeff and I had been talking for about 6 to 8 months about me helping him out. I had been doing websites, building websites for other businesses. I built my own websites. I actually started building websites back in 1996. I built the first website for my bank, Bank of Elk River in Elk River, Minnesota. And then I got interested in online marketing, online business. And in 2007, I read about a conference going on in Minneapolis. I just lived about 40 miles northwest of Minneapolis. And I decided that I should go and spend the money to go to this conference. It was a 3-day internet marketing conference that Jeff had put on. A lot of really good information, things that I had never heard about prior to that. Some things that were things that I had seen online. But I met him, talked to him a little bit, and then we set up an appointment to get together in a couple weeks. And so I think it ended up to be about a month or two later. And we met. He had to take his daughter out to the Minnesota Zoo south of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I met him out there while his daughter was off doing something. We visited for a half hour or so. And after that, he invited me to join him in his internet marketing business so that I would learn from him. He would be my mentor, and I would help him in his business. I had enough skills that impressed him, I guess, at that point, that he decided that that would be a good thing for me to join him. And so we worked out an arrangement. I told him I would do that. I would give him 4 years until our last of 5 children graduated from high school. And so we wrapped that engagement up in about 2012, 4 years later. But prior to that, I was working as an employee. I was a salaried employee for a large furniture store northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And I worked there for about 7.5 years. And we decided that at some point in early 2008, I think it was about April, that I would turn in my resignation and join him. And so I did that. And so that was the last time that I was really working up in this area. Actually, a couple of years ago, after we moved here to Tennessee, I did work for a little over a year for an auto parts company just about a mile from me. I needed something to do to get out of the house while my wife was off helping with homeschooling with the grandkids. And so I went to work as a part-time driver, 24 hours a week. And I was actually trading that time for dollars. Not very many dollars back then. But that's the quadrant that most people work in. Then down in the lower side, you see the S, or the self-employed quadrant, is where people begin to move into that, where maybe somebody grew up, our son-in-law, for instance, he grew up with his father having a painting business. And so he got into painting. And for quite a while, he was self-employed. Actually, he is still self-employed, although he's working on a pretty much a full-time basis for a company that does painting in a like a warehouse setting, an industrial setting. And he still does his own stuff, working up in Nashville area on some really high-end businesses. But he is self-employed. So the amount of active work determines the income. When he works, he gets paid, whether he's doing work for himself or work on his 1099 deal with his employer. He's trading time for dollars, similar to a regular employee. The only difference is, as a self-employed person, of course, those of you who are self-employed or know how that works, when you're self-employed, there's this thing called your federal tax liability, where employer pays a portion of that and you pay a portion of that out of your salary or your hourly wage. When you're self-employed, you get to pay the whole 15%. So you have to figure that into the equation. So that's more money that you have to count in. So then let's go just to the right there, the investor area. So an investor has income that does not depend on active work. So last year, my wife and I, let me just switch over to this panel a moment. There we go. Keep losing my mouse between one screen and the other. Last year, my wife and I decided that the money that we had sitting in the bank from selling our house a few years ago back in Minnesota, we're still renting a house, and we could get a better interest rate by investing that with a house flipper. And I spent about a year and a half learning how to do real estate investing, and I did some wholesale deals where I would actually be kind of the marketing freelance marketer and go out and find properties. And I found a couple, and I worked with a Christian brother who is a house flipper contractor here in the Tennessee area. He's actually over in Murfreesboro, kind of east of us. And so we decided to invest some of the money that was making less than 3% with him and make 10% or better on an annual return. So that money, so we are investors. We're invested a little bit, stuck our toes into this quadrant down here, and our income does not depend on the work he does. We have an agreement that in 12 months we will get a fixed return, interest rate return on the money that we put into his business. And if we decide to leave the balance in there or all of it in there, we can reinvest whatever that is. And so people do that with real estate investing. They do it in the stock market. Some people are more active, following what's going on in their investments and so on. If you have a 401 or an IRA, you have some investments, so you're probably watching what happens with those stocks and different things that your money is invested in. So then we go up to quadrant B, which is really where I want to focus today. Business owner. That's a little different than a self-employed. A business owner actually would have employees. So somebody that's self-employed, like my son-in-law again, if I use him as an example, doing his business himself, he's self-employed, he doesn't have any employees. But if he were to grow his business, like many people that are contractors, roofers, plumbers, electricians, they eventually need more help to get business, so they hire people to work for them. Now they have all of that to take care of. And so the income does not depend on active work that they do because they have other people working for them, but they still have work that they need to do. I talked with a friend yesterday over coffee who mentioned that at one time, one of the things that he did was got into doing promotions and putting on events. And then after that, and that was in the music area. And after that, he ended up starting a band with like, I think 4 or 5 other guys, and they would travel around and do concerts. And the guys were not very happy when he decided that he needed to take some time off, because that meant that they didn't have any income. If they weren't out there traveling and working and doing gigs on a weekly basis, they weren't making money. So actually his income did depend on active work because he was part of that. But some business owners, they build a business, like my friend Bill up in Spring Hill. He's built a business. He's very active in it, but he has employees that are doing a lot of the work. So what I wanted to share with you in regards to all of that, and let me just switch around a little bit here, make sure I get my mouse back over on the right screen, and then I can switch what I wanted to show you on the other screen. Here we go. So what I wanted to show you is and talk about is how, with the business that I am in now, which is legacy builders. So I've been learning AI. So again, I mentioned my history. 30 years I've been doing technology related things. I've built websites for other people. I helped my friend Jeff with his internet marketing business. I've had some success at building some things that gave me ongoing automatic income without me having to do a whole lot. But most of the time when I was building websites for people, I would have to do the work. I did management for a number of my clients that I built websites for, and I had some tools to make sure that the security and everything was working properly for their websites. But unless I did the work, I wasn't making money. Unless I went out and found more clients, I wasn't making money. So that quadrant B, that let me just throw that up there again. That quadrant B that Robert Kiyosaki talks about, it is now possible to actually put an X across that. And one of my graphics, I didn't grab the right one, but one of the graphics that I showed last week, I had an X across the employees, because with the way that we can work now using a system with legacy builders, we get away from having to do the work ourselves. So people are afraid of getting into new online business gigs. They know about people, relatives, friends, neighbors who are talking to them all the time. So with this, there's no talking to family and friends. You don't have to try to get people into this business. There's no getting on the phone trying to get people. You don't have to buy mailing list. There's no monthly minimum orders. You don't have to do like I did some 40 years ago when I got into my first MLM thing. It was food supplements and dehydrated foods, really good stuff, expensive stuff. But we had minimum monthly orders that we had to have. And we had to do, if we wanted to grow that business, we also had to do home parties, invite people to a business location, our house or some office or a meeting room, a room maybe at a hotel or something, and rent the room and do a presentation. We don't have to do that. So with this, you can actually make money from your phone. Some people hardly ever even use their computer, that they can just make money from their phone. And the best part is there is 100% profit. These are all digital products, digital training programs, digital products that you don't have to build, you don't have to create them, you don't have to update them, you can resell them. And what it is, it's master resale rights to the packages. And I'll go through those in a few minutes and just dial through some of that quickly. And I'll give you a link if you want to look at what is available there. You don't have to do anything other than drop your email address in the site, and then you'll be able to access more information. Excuse me a moment. So what I want to show you is the legacy builders inside of the package, where these are my programs. So I go in here and I click on Legacy Builders Bundle. And let me just show you, go back up here. I was actually doing some of the training. So I want to get back into the full programs, back to this page. Here we go. So here's where you start. These bundles, this bundle is actually, if you think about it, when I was helping my friend Jeff with his internet marketing business, we did 3-day conferences. We would go to different locations. We would contact, he would contact internet marketers that were building different systems. They had all kinds of different programs that they would have. and they would come and do a presentation for an hour and a half, 90-minute presentation. The last 10, 15 minutes, they would talk about their package, their tool, their wonderful system that would help people to make money and run a home-based business. And so people would get their credit cards out, go to the table at the back, and back there would be stacks of booklets that had CDs and DVDs and 3-ring binders with documentation and all of this. And along with that, they may include some training, which usually, now Zoom wasn't even around back then. In the early, this is like 2008 up to 2012. I think Zoom came out. I looked that up a while ago. It's about 2011, I think, when Zoom started. So they would do online training, but a lot of times that was like phone calls over different 800 phone systems and stuff. But what I wanted to share is that the DVDs and the CDs and the printed material now is all in digital format. And back then, if you did an update to a program and the people paid enough money, they would get a copy of the updated DVD. Now all of that is done online. And so when you come in to the program, you have videos and documents. So this is going to run this here in a moment. I'll make sure that I do what I need to do so we don't get an echo off the audio. This is Michelle O'Neill. She is a mother of 5 children and a grandmother of 6. And she started a business in September 2022 that, after being involved in MLMs, where she actually had to sell products and make a minimum percentage off the product and had to deal with downlines and all that, she found a model for marketing digital products, and she developed that. And in the first 17 months, she hit $1 million. And so she is the founder. She is a 6-figure per month earner. She made her first million in 17 months, did I say? Maybe I said 14. 17 months, I think it was. She made her first million. And so she is my primary mentor. And every Monday at 11 o'clock, she comes on and does an 1.5 to 2 hour training and mentoring to all of us that are in the program. And there are over 60,000 people worldwide that are in her training program right now. And I'll talk about that. I'll show you that here in a few minutes too. So this is Michelle.
Congratulations and welcome to the Legacy Builders Program, the Bundle Pack Edition. I am so proud of you for saying yes to your future. I need to share this with you because this is more than just a program.
I'm going to be talking over her, but I can't hear her. I had to mute my laptop so you could hear her.
Inside our program, you are going to learn the most amazing skills that you can use in any type of business. Digital marketing isn't going anywhere, and so I'm so proud of you for being here. And I just want to share with you these skills that you're going to learn are going to be skills that have helped families create daily pay, have literally helped families be able to build multiple income streams,
all of the training
design
modules.
a business that fits your life.
And so some of them will actually have a PDF file that you can download. It's included. And here we go. Here's some downloads over here. Digital Growth Community Guidelines. That's a Word doc. Most of the time they are PDF files. So actually in the beginning, you get to join the Master Resale Rights Program, which is what this document is. I'm not going to open all that right now. And let me go back over here, I think. Yep. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have her audio playing in the background. So this is the format that we have access to all of this training. And if I back up a moment here, the modules. So let's start here. Foundation CEO mindset and clarity, attraction, get attention and build awareness. It's all about helping us, especially for people who have never had a business of their own. We need to help, she needs to help us get to the place of understanding the mindset of an entrepreneur, somebody who has their own business. And how do you do that? How do you run that? How do you engage with other people and so on? Engagement, build trust and relationships. Turning conversation turn engagement into income. And then the area that I like, because I've been doing AI work, researching and using AI now for about a year and a half. I think it was almost 2 years, late 2023, when I started using AI to help me write blog posts for my real estate investing website. So there's a whole section in here about building your mini brand with AI for authentic connection. So people who do not want to have their faces, here I am, I'm the real Henry. If they don't want their real faces and their real voices online, I know people that are doing their legacy builders business without ever having to do that. The lady who helped me get started with legacy builders began in, I think, November, December, actually changing from using her face and her children's pictures to using images and videos that were her AI clone or avatars. So there's a whole training program in here. How creating high converting content with one AI prompt. And then down here, these are 11 Labs is an AI platform where you can have different voices that are not your own. I've actually gone in there and cloned my voice, so I have that available if I want to have my AI avatar, my AI clone use my voice. Although most people don't want to listen to my voice, they'd rather listen to my clones talk. They're much clearer. They don't have to stop and have a sip of water and such. Let me just switch to this other screen a second. There we go. That way I won't be covering up the content. So here's talking about how to create your AI clone in HeyGen. And if I have time here, I'm trying to get this under 30 minutes. I don't think I'm going to fit that, but at least under 40 to 45 minutes. So I don't take up a lot of people's times. But I do have information about how I use HeyGen, which is an avatar system to create live looking avatars. And there's a whole module over here on setting up your website. So when I click on that, and this is so well put together, the videos, that you can follow these videos. You can go in, you don't have to build your own website. That's the beauty of this. When you come in at whatever level you come in at, you get your own website that's already built and ready for you. You just have to do a few things like putting your photo in, putting a bio of yourself in there, and linking it up to the typically to either PayPal or to Square as a payment processor. And all of that is detailed in here. And it already has a whole batch of emails, because one of the things when people come to your website, there's a place for them to put their email, not their name, not their phone number, not their address, credit cards, none of that. At that point, just drop an email in there and they get added to your email list. And so they have a way to install the current batch of emails, and you can get them in English as well as Spanish if you have the top package, the legacy bundle, builder bundle. And it talks about how to go and get a domain name. Now I have my own web hosting and domain company that I've been working with for about 18 years. I actually sell domain names and hosting and such. So I just went over there and got the domain henrygrinerteam.com, and I looked at what they did for hooking it up with GoDaddy. And because I'm enough of a geek, I knew how to do the steps to hook mine up. But you would just go get your GoDaddy domain and hook it up following all those videos. Very easy. If you don't want to do that, they actually have a done for you system for, I think, a couple $100 that they'll do that for you in 2 or 3 days. Hooking up the payment gateways and all of that. So everything is it looks like there's a lot of stuff there. Well, there is, but it would take people about 2 days to just go through. These are all, like, for the most part, they're 3 to 5, 6, 7 minute videos and walk you through exactly what you need to do. So that's what it is. I'll show you my website, and you may have seen it already if you've clicked on one of my links to go to henrygrinerteam.com. And so I actually, I kind of cheated, I guess. I used one of my best avatar looks, and I had this created a few months back with the Google Gemini image tool. I put my own photo in there, and I played with it a few times and came out with this look, and I like this. It looks a lot better. It doesn't have quite the look that I have. Let me go back over here. You can compare. Let's see. Always trying to find my mouse between my laptop screen that I'm on here and my big monitor over there. So there, now you can compare the two. You can see that he has a little less under his chin there on my avatar twin. Anyway, so this is where people would drop in their email, and once they put their email in, they are dropped on a video that Michelle has done. It's about a 9-10 minute video. And then there's a button over there if you want to take a look at the package and learn more about it. You get to come over here. And this, I'm not going to scroll all the way to the bottom because there's a lot of information, a lot of testimonials from people that are doing very well in the company. Here's the Get Started button. Drops you right down here to where the packages are. And this is a high-level, high-ticket program. Now, when I came in at the $1,400 level because I wanted to have access to both the English and the Spanish versions. And I wanted to be able to start at the top and help people from any level that they come in. They just added this package sometime towards the last quarter, I think it was, of 2025. Before that, the $900 program was the top end. So what this is that there are these two packages with all the content and the training, and then there are these other 3 packages starting at $100, $300, and $600. And each one has, you get a website with it. Now, one of the things early on that I was confused with was, like, how can a company be in business if they give you 100% profit on every product, and they actually create the products for you? Even if they're digital, it takes time and expense. Somebody has to do it. You can't just say, Mr. AI, Claude, would you go and create a product? I have no idea what it should be. Just go and create it so I can sell it. And so it is a company that you can begin at a price point that fits your budget. And I've seen people who have started at the $100 or $300 level, and then as they progress and begin to make money, they can upgrade. So I can help you do that. If you were to come in at something under the $1,400 program and you want to upgrade it sometime, I just go in and in a few minutes time I can create a product that's the difference. So for me to do the math simple, let's say you come in at $100 and you decide you want to upgrade to the 600, I make a $500 product and give you that link. Now the way the company makes money so that we can get 100% profit is if we scroll down here, you'll see it probably a little hard to read at the bottom. It shows click here to enroll today for 100, and there's a plus mark that says $39 US one-time website fee. So at any of these three levels, you pay $39 for the website, and at the $900, there's a $39 fee, and at the $1,400 package, there is a $69 one-time fee. That's where the company makes their money. That was an answer that I didn't understand for a while. And out of that money, that's how the company operates. Michelle personally also does the business herself. She started out on TikTok. She still has the business on TikTok. She is making money every day running her business just like I am, just like everybody else in the business is. And so she pays her staff to do all the support and everything out of that $39 or $69. So that's the answer to how that can work. Now I wanted to go over here and show you one last thing. And I'm losing my voice, so I will cut it short. But I mentioned early on that there's like over 60,000 people that are in the community. So Michelle set up this digital growth community. And in here, this is where, let me go over here and click on the About. So down here you can see members 60,000.1. If I get myself out of the way, back over here. Excuse me. So there's over 60,000 people in this community. 222 are online right now. And this is where we can support each other. And in here, to go back to the classroom, well, I should have had a cup of coffee.
Congratulations! Today is day one of our new Freedom from a 30K in 90 Days sprint. I am so proud of you. I'm so excited that you are here. And day one is the decision.
So Michelle makes these short
you must become
videos
in 90 days
that are part of the training.
Rise to goals. You
and what's called the 30,000 in 90 days.
Goals, but few people
this is just one of the tools that's in there
goals
to help
say,
us get started.
I hope this is going to be fun. I can do this. But standards say, this is who I am now and who I'm going to become to reach my goals in 90 days.
So I'm going to end there because it's already just after the top of the hour. And I want to go back over here. Actually, I want to pull up. Let me switch back here a second. There we go. So this is my website at henrygrinerteam.com. And if you go there, drop your email address in. I will put that email in the comment area below the YouTube video, as well as in the replay, as well as below the video that's being saved up on Facebook. So you can click that, or you can just go to Henry Griner. Here's my spelling. Henry Griner, put the word team.com, no spaces, henrygrinerteam.com. and that will take you to the website. And that's about it for my voice. I guess I'll go have another cup of coffee to keep going, but thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can drop me an email to henry@henrygreiner.com, just henry@henrygreiner.com, and I'll be glad to help you. Thank you. Have a blessed day.